And welcome back to another episode of our Pokemon Battle Series, the School of Hard Knocks. So throughout this episode, like every other, we'll be jumping on to the Pokemon Global Link Battle Spot ladder, playing under the Championship Battle rules, which are the equivalent rule set of the VGC 2017 season, soon to be 2018 season, I guess. So a bit of a surprise episode today, and this is solely because Friday's episode of the School of Hard Knocks yesterday, we had major issues with our audio quality, so it cut out after like 6 minutes. So massive apologies for that, guys. I should have really checked a bit further on in the video to make sure that the audio was alright right the way through, but I didn't. I was just pushed for time last week. As I say, my parents are visiting right now, so I wanted to pre-record all the episodes, get them out ready for you guys, so you had some content all through the week. But that went a bit haywire, so I pulled that video off. I do apologise, and there was a lot of comments on there that I didn't get a chance to actually respond to. So really sorry for those, guys. If you had comments there, comment on this video if you get a chance, and just let me know, because going into next week we are going to be playing just either Sam's team again, or Ryota's team, or maybe something else. But we will not be bringing a brand new team into next week's series because it'll just give me a bit of extra time to work on it. So do keep these suggestions coming in. We've had some great suggestions so far. We've had the Alolan Raichu, the Machamp, we've had PZ. Everyone seems to be kind of on board the Porygon Z team. So that would be a lot of fun to get going and integrate some of those other ideas in, and keep your ideas coming, guys, because I can add things into the team and, you know, try and work around things. But I want to get something really solid going into, not next week that we've got coming on Monday, but the week after that. And we'll throw in some Battle Spot doubles action into next week. We're going to have live streams again, and Best of 3 Battle Hour will be back. So I've got something scheduled, so hopefully it all pans out well for next week. So a lot to come. But we had as well on our yesterday was I started yesterday, 25th of August was the actual date that I opened my YouTube account, and it's been amazing so far throughout the year. So hopefully we have another big year of lots of cool content for you guys, and we keep doing things that are going to benefit you guys. I feel really good about 2018 season going through it, so hopefully it all continues. And just a big thank you to everyone for supporting me so far. It's been absolutely amazing. But more into that later, because we have our first opponent of the day, Diego, and they are running a team of Metagross, Tapu Bulu, Smeagol, Politoed, Krookodile and Nihilego. So what are we going to do here? We've got the rain mode from the Politoed that does kind of throw a few issues up with our Ninetales, getting our Aurora Veil up, Hail up, and things like that. The Smeagol obviously causing us a few issues as well. I do like Mandibuzz here because it has the Overcoat ability, so it isn't affected by powder moves like Spore, for one. We do need to be a bit careful with that Nihilego, but we can boost our own special defense by bringing our Tapu Lele, but then that does throw up issues with the Metagross, because we are going to be powering up its Psychic type attacks. Mandibuzz doesn't worry about that too much. I definitely want to bring Garchomp here, and who do we want for our fourth member? Could bring Ninetales to disrupt the rain, I guess, but we're not really going to be relying on our ground type attacks too much, I don't think, in this match. The Xurkitree might be a better option here, so we'll go on with the Xurkitree as our fourth choice. It's going to help out a lot against the Politoed in particular. So, and if we can get a Tail Glow up, you know, we're going to be bouncing Dazzling Gleams off the Krookodile as well, for one. So let's see how we get on in this match. Hopefully the audio doesn't cut out in this one. I don't know quite what the problem was, but the audio file got corrupt when I was recording my last episode. And I know I have issues sometimes when I'm rendering in the background a video and I'm recording as well. So that might have had something to do with it. But hopefully it works out smoothly today. So we do see my opponent lead off with the Politoed and that Tapu Bulu. We do get our Psychic Terrain up, boost the special defense on our Mandibuzz through the Psychic Seed. Fortunately, Tapu Bulu is slower, as you kind of expect it to. It does get the Grassy Terrain up, and Politoed getting the rain up as well. So, what do we want to do here? Tapu Bulu is a bit of an issue. So we could go for a Tailwind here. I'm a little bit wary about the Tapu Bulu, maybe, you know, setting up a substitute, a leech seed or something like that. So I kind of want to taunt into it this first turn. To stop it doing anything like that. I don't know if the... And then we could go for maybe the Tailwind the next turn. So I'm going to just do that. It's going to be a bit of a passive turn here. I'm just going to protect the Tapu Lele this first turn. I don't really have too much in the back that I can switch in safely to any big grass type attacks either. So something that we have to be a little bit careful of. So we do get the taunt onto the Bulu. It does go for a bulk up, so we get that call right. And just a Scald into the Lele from the Politoed. So we do know that the Tapu Bulu can't protect now. We can go for a Tailwind with our Mandibuzz. The thing is with Tapu Lele, it's probably going to go down to any sort of grass type attack that we have fired out onto us. So we may have to sack the Lele here, which isn't ideal, but it will give us an opening to bring in maybe Garchomp or more likely Xurkitree the next turn. So let's just go for a Moonblast, get some damage onto the Bulu. But we are likely going to lose the Lele here. Do some decent damage with the Moonblast, 50%, so it's not the bulkiest of Tapu Bulus. Get the Tailwind up, there's the Horn Leech. And that's not too bad. Okay, so we take a little bit of damage, and we'll probably take a Scald as well from the Politoed. But we do survive. This should just proc a berry and get some health back. And everything is going to take a round of healing. So we know that Tapu Bulu can't protect here, so we could go for a foul play and double into it. We could go for a foul play into the Bulu and protect Lele, get some damage onto it for the next turn to potentially, you know, pick up the KO with a Moonblast and another foul play. Might not be a bad idea here. So let's do that. Because Lele will go down to a combination of Horn Leech and a Scald if my opponent doubles into it. And if they double into it this time, it kind of gives us a free foul play. We're not really utilising our Tailwind turns particularly well here, but Mandibuzz isn't going anywhere anytime soon, so we're fine just kind of being a bit patient in this sort of situation. Do get the foul play off, which does do a decent amount of damage, I think, and we see a Scald this time, so hopefully we don't get burnt, because that's gonna... No burn, okay, so that really does help us out a lot. Maybe a foul play and a Moonblast is going to be enough, but the taunt does wear off into the Bulu. Now this throws the problem up with a Protect on that Tapu Bulu and a Scald coming out from that Politoed. Is my opponent going to go for that though? My opponent knows that we probably go for the double into the Bulu in this situation. But I mean, I'm gonna lock into it. I'm gonna lock into that. Because Politoed can't take us down, so we don't see any Protects come out, which is nice. But we proc a berry. Okay, so that throws our whole plan out of the window. We do get the foul play off. Let's see if this would have been enough. It probably would have been enough without the berry. But we do get the Horn Leech again. Should take this. But a Scald will take us down. Okay. And it is into the Mandibuzz again. No burn again. But now that Tapu Bulu... Oh no, the Tapu Bulu isn't anywhere near in range. I think we're going to have to go for a Roost with our Mandibuzz this turn. And... just need to get rid of the Bulu really. This is a big problem. And it could go for a bulk up this turn. Politoed could go for a Scald into us. See how many turns of grassy terrain we've got left. One turn, so it might be better just going for a Protect here. just to preserve Lele for another turn, I guess, and then the grassy terrain does go away. Yeah, there's the protect from the Bulu this turn, so I see a Scald probably from the Politoed into the Lele just to take it off the field. But it's into the Mandibuzz, okay. We're getting really lucky with the burns here because, you know, the 30% chance does stack. Alright, Tailwind Pitter's out and the grassy terrain does disappear from the field. So we can go for another Tailwind here. Do we need to go for a Tailwind? Go for a Taunt, I guess. And just a Moonblast. It's a shame because that last turn, if we'd expected the Scald into the Mandibuzz, we could have went for a Calm Mind with Lele. Let's go for the Moonblast in there. We might see the Bulu switch out. But the Politoed withdraws. Okay. So trying to preserve that rain for later on. We do get a Moonblast. Off into the Bulu, doing decent damage. And get a special attack drop, which isn't really going to matter. We do get the Taunt off onto it. And we just see a Horn Leech come out. Which will pave the way for our Garchomp. With this Mandibuzz being super threatening to us. So we'll bring the Garchomp in. We do have to be a bit careful with, let's see what my opponent has. Could he have a Trick Room mode maybe? I wouldn't have said it's too likely. So let's go for a Tailwind with Mandibuzz and just protect Garchomp because there's every chance that Nihilego could have Hidden Part Ice here. It's just going for a Power Gem straight into the Mandibuzz. We should take this though. We do get that Tailwind off. And a Super Power doubling into the Mandibuzz. But we do survive that, we do take it, so here I'm just gonna go for I'm probably better off doubling into the Nihilego, to be honest, because it could potentially have Focus Sash. And the Bulu's not going to be doing as much damage with the Horn Leech at the moment because of the superpower drop to its defense and its attack, so we're a bit safer going into this turn. So I'm just going to double in. Yeah, so the Bulu actually withdraws. We might see the Nihilego just protect here. We do get intimidated. No protect though, so we do get the Earthquake off. Wow, okay, so no Sash either. I don't think the crit mattered at all there. And then we're going to get a Foul Play off onto the Crocodile. Which does decent enough damage. So we'll probably see the Tapu Bulu come in maybe. Get that grassy terrain up to start healing itself up. And everything else. And weakening the Earthquake as well. So I am just going to take this opportunity to roost up with my Mandibuzz and could Rock Slide, but there's every chance my opponent could have. You know, we haven't seen a Z move as well, so that's something we need to keep in mind. My opponent could throw a Z move out now. Let's just protect Garchomp this turn. Just to scout out what my opponent goes for. The trouble is here if the Bulu goes for a bulk up, I guess. So Crocodile just going to protect. And we do go for a Roost. get that off. And we'll see what this Tapu Bulu goes for. And just a Horn Leech into the Garchomp. Okay, so let's think. So it could go Foul Play and Rock Slide. Maybe. What have we got left in our Tailwind turns? This is what we've got to think. We've got one turn of Tailwind left. So if I go for a Taunt into the Tapu Bulu, stop it getting any bulk ups, and go for a Swords Dance with Garchomp, because we should take a combination of attacks from the Bulu and the Crocodile. This turn we go for the Swords Dance, next turn we go for a Protect, get another Tailwind up. Although we probably don't need the Tailwind, to be honest. It's just against that Crocodile. So there's a Taunt from the Crocodile onto the Mandible. It's going to stop us roosting, and we'll see, yeah, Horn Leech. It's going to do good damage to Garchomp. About 50%, which isn't ideal. That Bulu is... You see, in situations like this, you think we should have maybe brought the Arcanine to help us out, but with the rain and the Crocodile and things like that, it does make it awkward for us to kind of bring it. Now we can't get the Tailwind up because of the Taunt. But we can Foul Play and just go for a Rock Slide. We're going to get more out of our turn. I guess we could go for a Tectonic Rage, +1 Tech Rage. We're maybe better off just going for a Foul Play into the Bulu, protecting Garchomp this turn. And then try and go Foul Play and Tech Rage into it the next turn. But we're just going to see the Tapu Bulu withdraw. We're going to see the Politoed come onto the field. What we're going to see this Crocodile go for. I'm going to see a Tectonic Rage come out from the Crocodile into the Garchomp. So we probably made the better play there, just protecting. So the Protect there really helping out. We do get the Foul Play into the Politoed. We should get some decent enough damage onto it. But this grassy terrain is doing us no favours here, because as long as it's up, we're not going to be able to get any full powered Earthquakes off. But at this point, you've got to kind of think more along the lines that we're probably better off getting Xurkitree into a good position here. Let's go for a Tech Rage into the Politoed and just a Foul Play into the Crocodile. So Crocodile just protects. I'd imagine a +1 Tech Rage should be enough to take down. But we're going to see a double Protect here, so I'm going to burn our Tectonic Rage, which is a bit unfortunate. But I guess it goes a little way in just trying to get rid of this grassy terrain. The thing is, though, my opponent has the Bulu in the back, so it can bring it in at any point just to weaken our ground type attacks. Now let's see how little damage this is going to do to the Politoed through the Protect. Not the best. It's not the worst either. Okay, so right, I'm still taunted with Mandibuzz. I'll go for a Foul Play into the Politoed this time around, and I'm just going to go for a Rock Slide as well. And then we've got to try and fish for some flinches if we can. Crocodile switches out, Tapu Bulu comes back in. So there's the Rock Slide. Politoed avoids. Tapu Bulu avoids. Excellent. And we do get the foul play into the Politoed. And there's a Scald. But it is into the Mandibuzz, so Garchomp lives another day. This is such a long game. Okay, so is the grassy terrain going to end? Yeah, so we are going to be able to get full advantage of these earthquakes now. I think what we'll do is... Could Tailwind here. It's going to probably help our Xurkitree when it comes in, especially against that Crocodile. But we might be better off just, you know, prolonging Mandibuzz while we've got the chance to. We can go for an Earthquake. And we will be able to get some decent damage onto both targets. So yeah, Tapu Bulu withdrawing, Crocodile coming back in, cycling that Intimidate. And we do get the Earthquake off. I don't know if it's going to be enough to take down the Politoed. We are neutral now. Is it enough? Oh, it's so close. And we proc a berry on the Politoed. Oh, the rolls, the rolls. And we do get a roost up with Mandibuzz. And there's the Ice Beam that is going to come into the Garchomp. So, this paves the way now for our last and final opportunity to take advantage of my opponent. We can bring in the Xurkitree. I know my opponent hasn't got their Tech Rage option anymore, so we should still be able to take an Earthquake from this Crocodile. Do we Tailwind here though? That's the thing. If we Tailwind, we could get taunted by the Crocodile. We know the Crocodile's got the taunt. You've got to imagine that's the play from my opponent. He goes for the taunt into the Mandibuzz here, I would imagine. So let's go for because the Dazzling Gleam should be enough. I'm gonna rely on my opponent trying to stop the Tailwind and thinking that we'll go for the Protect Tailwind play. I'm gonna foul play into the Politoed and just Dazzling Gleam. We might see an Earthquake come out. So there's the taunt, no Earthquake. So this is working out perfectly for us, really. There's the Dazzling Gleam. And will a combination of Dazzling Gleam... Oh, I don't think it will be. I don't think the foul play is going to be near enough to take down that Politoed. So we're probably going to take a Scald. Do get a Beast Boost though, which is going to help us. There's a foul play. And a Perish Song. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Okay, so I think my opponent has just sealed our fate. Really nice play from my opponent. I don't know if we're going to be able to have enough in the tank to take down. And there's the grassy terrain. I think the play that we make is Tail Glow and just try and get some damage onto this Tapu Bulu here. Because the Politoed might protect. Yeah. If we can get a Tail Glow up, we might be able to get enough damage onto the Bulu. There's always a double protect play that you could go for. We'll get a foul play into it. And let's see, a Horn Leech probably come out into the Xurkitree. Yeah. Okay. So we'll heal up all of that damage. Now we're +4. If we take down the Politoed, we'll go to +5. Maybe we can get round a double protect, because I think that's, yeah. So the Bulu protects here. Politoed will go for a double protect here, and it's whether or not we can the Bulu gets the double protect or not. So let's go for this Dazzle. I don't think I've ever had my timer run this low in a game. So the Politoed goes for the protect. No protect from the Bulu though. Okay. Get another Beast Boost, but I think Xurkitree is actually going to go down here. As I don't think the foul play is going to be enough. it's not quite enough. And there's a Horn Leech. I don't think we'll survive this either. No. Yeah, I think that's it now. Because the Bulu just protects us next turn. That takes the Perish count right down. And my opponent... yeah. So very well played by my opponent. I think we got a little bit punished here for maybe not bringing the Arcanine. The Intimidate would have definitely helped. We just left it with very few options to kind of really hit the Tapu Bulu for super effective. You know, even Ninetales in this situation would have been maybe a bit better. And then the Perish Song kind of just coming in massively clutch at the end. For my opponent, very long game, yeah, but good game to Diego, and a few things left to think about going into our next game. And hopefully it's not as long as that as well. You kind of really miss Poison Jab on Garchomp for situations like that, teams like that when you haven't got it, but you are locked to 4 moves, so you can't have everything. That was a good match. It was a good match. Just disappointed, you know. We could have maybe made a few alterations to our game plan. We were very passive at the start of the game, and I think we maybe should have got Xurkitree in a bit sooner. Boost it up and then try to kind of just rip some holes through my team with the Tailwind, supporting it against that Crocodile. We got rid of the Politoed earlier on as well. We had a lot of opportunities to try and go for that, but we did just play very passively. I'll look at the game at a later point and see where we went wrong. It's always good to look back at your games as well to see where you could have maybe made a few different plays, you know. Like I say, I feel already like we played very passive in certain situations, so the likelihood is that we did. But I'm not taking anything away from my opponent. Played it very well and made the plays that they needed to kind of eke out the win and then pick their opportunity to get that that Parasong off exactly the point that they needed to. So we have our next opponent anyway of the episode, and they are running a team of Alolan Raichu, Clefairy, Celesteela, Tapu Lele, Gigalith, and Garchomp. So few problems for our team here. We've got the Gigalith that does throw up issues again with our Ninetales. Gigalith also being a big threat for Mandibuzz with those rock slides and things like that. Intimidate could be quite handy here and especially against the Celesteela as well. I think I will bring Mandibuzz, and I think I will lead it off with Arcanine as well. But we're going to need a good switch in Arcanine, so Garchomp's a nice switch in that situation. And what do we bring as our final Pokemon? Maybe the Xurkitree or the Tapu Lele of our own. So Tapu Lele is going to be a bit of an issue. But if we've got the Tailwind, my opponent doesn't look as though he's got too much speed control on his side of the field. So Xurkitree might be good if we can get a Tailwind up. So let's go for that. Let's go for that. Bring the Zerk. And hopefully my opponent brings their own Tapu Lele, which might benefit our Mandibuzz. So hopefully this one's a bit quicker than the last one. The last one dragged on and on and on. But it's always the same when you play that sort of like bulky Tapu Bulu sort of team. They kind of drag games out, and the animations take a lot longer as well. So we'll see how we get on in this game. We do see my opponent lead off with the Raichu and the Tapu Lele. You've got to expect that maybe my opponent doubles into the Mandibuzz here. You know, there's every threat. I know we've got the special defensive boost, but my opponent could have, you know, the Raichus are prone to have Z moves, the Stalked Surfer, whatever it's called, and a Moonblast. That would be enough to take down the Mandibuzz, and it's a pretty easy target for my opponent, you know. To go into that straight away. Thing is with switching in the Garchomp and it here, it's not really going to want to take a Moonblast, so it might be better just going for a Tailwind and then just go for a Bulldoze, and that kind of opens the door for anything coming in this next turn. So we do see a Moonblast into the Mandibuzz. No Fake Out from the Raichu because of the Psychic Terrain, and there we go. There is a Z-move, and that has got to be into the Mandibuzz to remove it from the field. Stalked Spark Surfer. It's such a cool Z-move, and the animation's really cool as well. If we use a Alolan Raichu, we've got to use this, I think. Into the Mandibuzz. Poor Mandibuzz. Not enjoying that at all. But we do get the Bulldoze off. And Arcanine unscathed here. Doing big damage to that Raichu as well. Now this does open the door for us to bring in potentially our Xurkitree here. Or our Garchomp. And what do we want to do? Because we could bring in Xurkitree and go for we maybe be better off leaving Xurkitree till later in the game. Because we do have the Tech Rage with the Garchomp. And you've got to imagine that Lele maybe switches out here. I think if we bring in Xurkitree, Lele stays in, but if we bring Garchomp, I think Lele switches out. But we could be quite cute and go for a Swords Dance here because of the Lele being so threatened. Because you've got to imagine that maybe because the Lele is scarfed, right? It moved before the Raichu, so we know it's scarfed. So it's going to switch out. It's not going to stay in just to get killed. So we could go for a Swords Dance and then just attack into the Raichu slot. So I'm going to do that. Because we make the Garchomp so much more threatening. And a Flare Blitz will be able to take down the Raichu. So there's the Lele switch out. And in comes the Gigalith. We should take down this Raichu because it's not likely that it has Protect. We are going to outspeed it with Arcanine. Oh, it does have Protect. I am proved wrong. Very wrong. But we do get the Swords Dance off, which is pretty huge. The problem is, this Gigalith could have Wide Guard, which throws up other issues. So I think just to bait out and just to kind of scout out the Wide Guard, I am going to go for a Flare Blitz again, just into that Raichu slot. Because it's very likely that the Gigalith has Wide Guard, or it has Protect, maybe. Well, maybe even just protects this turn. So Gigalith just protects. Okay. And we do get the Flare Blitz off into the Raichu. Now the problem is if the Lele comes back in, because, as we know, it is scarfed. And if that Gigalith does have Wide Guard, it can block. Yeah, it can block the Bulldoze. And Garchomp will go down to Moonblast here, you've got to imagine. And you've got to think that probably my opponent has the Garchomp in the back as their last Pokemon as well. So we could go for, I guess, a Tech Rage into the Gigalith to try and get rid of it in a Flare. But no, we're probably better off going Tech Rage into the Lele slot and just doubling into that slot really. Because I totally expect a Wide Guard here. No Wide Guard though, just a Moonblast. Okay, so we could have went for an Earthquake. We do survive though. So we should have went for the Gigalith. Too scared of a wide guard here, which is really not ideal at all. Huh. Okay. I think no, my calc's a bit better as well. If I was a bit more comfortable with the Moonblast calc there, knowing that we'd be able to take that. We do take the Lele down. It seems a bit wasteful. I know it's a big threat on my opponent's side of the field. We can get a Flare Blitz off into the Gigalith. It's not really going to do very much damage. My opponent not showing the wide guard at all. Probably just a Rock Slide here, which will take down the Garchomp and do some good damage to Arcanine in the process. Yeah. And it all comes down to what my opponent has for the last Pokemon. So we do get the Berry procced on Arcanine. If it's the Garchomp, we're not in a good position at all. So we bring in Xurkitree, and yeah, it's the Garchomp. So you know the Garchomp isn't Scarfed because the Lele was Scarfed. It's probably got Tech Rage though, hasn't it? I wonder if we can get away with a Tail Claw. Problem is, if it's Tech Rage, it just fires it off into the Xurkitree, but then does my opponent kind of bait out our Protect? I think I Protect here and I just go for a Bulldoze and try and lower the speed of that Garchomp. I think it's our best kind of hope here. So we should take an Earthquake. Garchomp Earthquakes. An Earthquaking into the Gigalith, but this will take our Arcanine out. Okay. Proccing the Berry on the Gigalith. And Gigalith just goes for a Rock Slide. No, I don't think we can really do anything here. Because two Earthquakes are definitely going to take us down. You've got to imagine that Garchomp's faster than Xurkitree. And we're going to need a Tail Claw really to pick up the KO onto the Garchomp. How fast? Yeah, the Garchomp's got to be fast as well, because there's not really too many methods to speed control my opponent's team, so you've got to imagine that you just run a faster Garchomp, so we're probably better off just trying to go for Dazzling Gleam here rather than Tail Claw. Oh, so Garchomp actually protects. And we're going to see the Gigalith. Is the Gigalith just Rock Slide in here, I think. So we could have Tail Clawed. Oh, and the Gigalith goes for a Bulldoze, just making sure that that Garchomp is going to outspeed our Xurkitree this next turn. We can Protect here, because I wonder if the Gigalith's actually not got Protect. So I don't know if we've seen it Protect, have we? Don't think we have. It's got the Wide Guard though. Showing it right at the last minute. Okay. But this game is pretty much over because we can't really do anything from the position that we're in. We can go for a Dazzling Gleam, but we're just going to get taken down by an Earthquake. So, bit unfortunate, but very strong opponent. And he's, I think, just the whole makeup of his team is very good, very strong. And it doesn't leave us too many options, with the Gigalith just being a big pain for us. And the threat of the Wide Guard as well throughout there kind of affected our decision making. But very good game to my opponent, and just showing what a very strong team it is. And I feel like Gigalith is a bit of a weakness for this team. you're kind of relying heavily on the Garchomp in this situation, and if your opponent can kind of burn or get rid of the Tectonic Rage early on, then the Gigalith is pretty safe for the rest of the game. Because of that wide guard, it kind of shuts down any earthquake damage coming onto it. And you know, we did make a bit of a bad play maybe where we earthquaked Tectonic Raged into the Tapu Lele last minute. We should have really Tectonic Raged into the Gigalith there, and we could have Tectonic Raged and Bulldoze maybe with the Arcanine in that turn. That would have lowered the speed on the Lele, allowing Arcanine to kind of get a free hit into it next the following turn with a Flare Blitz that would have maybe taken it off the field, and then we would have had the Garchomp in. Garchomp's still not going to be easy to take down with the Xurkitree and the Arcanine, but you know, we did have options to play around that. And the Garchomp wouldn't have been freely able to just Earthquake with the Lele next to it, being scarfed, so we would have pinned my opponent into a tighter situation than we did targeting down the Lele and kind of wasting a Z move there. So a few things to think about. There's going to be a good reflection on looking back at these matches, I think. Hopefully you've enjoyed today's episode, guys. It's been some long games, but I did want to just throw something up because of the episode that we missed yesterday. Bit unfortunate, both games were losses, but we'll look at turning that around next week when we come back on Monday. So do let me know, continue to let me know what you want to see played next week. Like I say, we've got a few options. We can carry on playing Sam's team, we can play Ryota's team, or possibly the other option that we do have is maybe an Alolan Raichu, like that first VGC team. There's been a few of you saying that I'd like to see that Alolan Raichu, Tapu Koko, Crocodile, Marowak, Celesteela team brought back and just updated for the current meta game. That we could do that, and that would be a lot of fun. I think I'd enjoy doing something like that. So let me know your comments and we'll get something put together on Monday. But as always, please leave a like on the video if you have enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, welcome, so you stay up to date with all our daily content from our School of Hard Knocks Battlespot Double Series, our Best of 3 Battler, and everything in between. So we will be back on Monday, guys. Have an amazing weekend, and hopefully we turn things around on Monday. So a bit disappointed with today's results, but a lot of reflecting to do. And you know, I do always say when you lose, it's always more beneficial losing if you go back and review where you went wrong, because that's how you improve and that's how you get better, and that's the road that you need to kind of go down to try and grow as a player. You need to look at the mistakes that you've made and where you could have went wrong in a battle, or maybe, you know, there's certain things where you led differently, and there's a lot of different aspects, but you've got to kind of try and analyze every little bit of it to try and make sure that you're not doing that again going forward. So if anything, hopefully that is the message from today's episode. We did have a couple of strong opponents as well, so we've got to take that into mind as well. But that's the thing. You've got to beat the harder opponents, and that's how you improve, and that's how you progress. So that's what we will do. But not going to keep you any longer. Have an amazing weekend, guys, and I will see you all on Monday. So until then, take care and bye bye.